Previously on
Catch him
board.
again today on the weekend of the Euro 2012 final. Gary Mabbutt, good afternoon, sir. How's it going?
Yes, very well, thank you. Very well. Yourselves?
Very good, thanks. What's the weather in London like today?
It started off miserable and rain, and it's now turning into quite a pleasant and muggy afternoon. So I'm afraid summer hasn't arrived yet.
All right, well, judging by London weather, then by the time we end this phone call, it'll be raining.
That's about right.
Are you going to Wimbledon, Gary?
Yes, I am.
Oh, nice.
When are you off there? Which games are you going to go and see?
Hopefully going obviously next week and getting towards the end. So hopefully getting along there and hopefully seeing Andy Murray.
Hey, Gary, you still there?
Sorry?
There you are. Okay, we just lost you for a second. We heard Andy Murray, and obviously you'll be rooting for him. You won't be seeing Rafa Nadal. One of two big shocks in the sporting world these last 24 hours. Rafa Nadal gone at Wimbledon, and the other one, the Germans beaten in the semi-finals by Italy.
Yes, again, I thought it was a great performance from Italy. Balotelli was a difference. Obviously, two great finishes, but having said that, you expected Germany to come back. You expected them to control the game, and they struggled. They, in my opinion, I think they gave Italy too much respect. I think they should have played their own game and then taken it to Italy, but they didn't. And at the end of it, I think they paid a very hefty price.
It's just give us your sort of thoughts on if you were coaching a side that's playing against Germany. Everyone is saying that they're very organised, they're very well disciplined side as well. What is the message then that you give your side when you go? You can just go in there and try and disrupt their organisation as much as possible, get them into a little bit of panic and pressure, and you've got a much better chance of beating them.
Well, yes, I think always what you've got to do with teams like that is you've always got to ask them questions. Always get different movements from your midfield and your strikers, get players interchanging positions, wingers switching sides. Always ask the defenders questions, because if they're set up in two banks of four, knowing what to expect, and suddenly you're doing something different, it disrupts the focus, and obviously the way they set up their game plan, that they're not quite sure exactly what to do with it. So my advice to any team playing against Germany or anyone that's as organised as they are is to always keep trying to disrupt them, always keep asking them questions, make them make decisions, and showed last night that Italy asked questions and Germany weren't able to answer them.
All right, so with a lot of people not giving Italy too much. They've been kind of people have been expecting them to go quarterfinals, then semi-finals. Now they're in the final. Your thoughts about, and I'm not saying you thought this would happen, but your thoughts about Italy now, have you got a new sort of perspective on just how good this side is, and can they go all the way and then now beat another one of the sides ranked above them, that's Spain?
Well, I think you always know that the Italians, from Buffon, who's got tremendous experience. Again, I thought he had a poor start to the game yesterday, but obviously as the game went on, he grew in confidence. But with players like that, that Italy can cause you trouble. I just didn't think that Italy would be at the level at the moment whereby they'd be able to get to the final. Certainly, in Balotelli, they've got an absolutely amazing, incredible player one day, and another day, if he throws his toys out of the pram, he can be a hindrance to you. So, that is something which they're going to have to try and keep very much under control.
Yeah, and that is the big question. Which Balotelli arrives on which day? They'll be hoping the right one arrives on Sunday.
Well, yes, but I think history has shown that he does normally, on occasions, is liable to lose it. And I think that's the stage which I think certainly the Spanish will be trying to rile him a bit. Will be trying to get him to lose focus on the game and focus on other things. And this obviously Spanish side are an excellent side. They're going for the hat trick. Obviously the European Championships before, and then the World Cup. If they can get the hat trick, it's never ever been done before. So no, it's an amazing opportunity that they've got, and I think that will be the big thing for them, the big motivation. At the start of the competition, I wasn't sure whether or not the fact that they were world champions and had done it all in the couple of years, whether or not they would still have that desire and that appetite for it. But I think now going into the final, I think it's all set up for them, to make history, and I think that's going to be a huge thing for them to use as motivation.
Obviously, Spain are good enough to win a game basically by scoring more goals, and that is it doesn't matter. That they can go and win a game 4-2 or 3-2 or 4-3. Do they focus more on disrupting players like Balotelli? I mean, some other teams that like to get stuck in and maybe feel if we can get him off his game and unsettle him, then we've got a better chance. But Spain would probably back themselves more just to actually play the kind of football that their players know how to do, score more goals and win the final, as opposed to worry about a guy like Balotelli.
Oh no, you can be sure that Spain will not generally be a team at their opponents and get too concerned like Germany did yesterday.
Yeah.
What I would say is that they will play their own, but you can be sure that the likes of the PK at the back or someone will be getting in and be trying to get a couple of tough challenges in on Balotelli, because they know that he is I don't mean doing anything untoward. I just mean letting Balotelli know that he's in for a tough game.
The two sides already have met in the tournament, Gary. But do you expect it to be a tricky match then, Sunday's final?
No, I think it will be very different. Also, I think it was the opening game in their group, which we say drew. I think it'll be a very different game in the final. I'm looking forward to it. So I think the Spanish play some absolutely outstanding football. Their movements, I think the way that the players in the team, everybody is comfortable on the ball, and that they've had that will to win, and they've shown that over the last few years. I believe it could be a bridge too far for them at the start of this tournament. Going into the final now against Italy, I believe they've got a great chance.
All right, they haven't really shown their sort of full hand yet in this tournament. They haven't been the kind of Spain that people might have been expecting in this tournament. So, what did you think of their performance against Portugal? I mean, they were taken to right down to the wire there. And what was your view on their performance there?
I think that it's been I've also been disappointed in the Spanish performances so far, but obviously they've got to where they are. They've always outpassed teams.
Yeah, it just sounded like it was on its way. Don't worry, don't panic, Johnny. I've got it.
I've got a home number,
Johnny, I've got it.
Okay.
Just redial it, and hopefully we'll be able to pick him up again. That game. What time is that game on Sunday, by the way?
I think it's the same, 8:45.
Quarter to nine.
Quarter to 9. I'll check. I'll make sure.
I don't know why they play those weekend games at night, especially on a Sunday night. Ideally set up for a Sunday afternoon
but
game.
I'll check it out for you.
Sitting from 4:00 last weekend, we're waiting for the semi-finals to happen, then found out they were happening at night as well.
It's
obviously
Gary.
From an international point of view.
Gary.
Sorry, Gary, we lost you there. You're back again. Just on your final point, just as you were saying about Spain.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I think that Del Bosque doesn't know who his best team is yet. Whether he plays with forwards, whether he doesn't play with a forward, he plays Fabregas there, whether he gets Torres involved. So I think he's not sure about his best lineup at the moment. I think that's what's been happening during the tournament. He's chopped and changed a bit. As I say, I still think that if the Spanish play to their abilities, they are more than capable of getting victory over Italy.
Would you start with a similar kind of team then that he has been running out in previous games, or would you change and maybe give Torres a crack up front?
Well, I mean, Torres is hungry for it. I think you could see the other night when the third substitution was made, he knew he wasn't coming on. You could see he was disappointed. And having said that, though, obviously when they went through, he was one of the first up to congratulate. So, he's desperate to prove himself. He'll have a great stage to be able to do that. And, I think Del Bosque will certainly use it at some stage. Whether it's from the start, that remains to be seen. But, he is a player that has been, people would say, hasn't really been on form for a long time, and he's due a good game. Well, what bigger game than this to play in for him? And I think that if he does get involved, I think he could definitely score in the final.
All right, final one, Johnny.
Darren, it is 8:45 kickoff, but also a big story, as you probably heard. David Beckham has missed out of a place in the British Olympic football squad. Has there been plenty of reaction to that, Gary?
Well, I'm very shocked and surprised. The thing about David is that whilst everyone was saying he shouldn't be selected because he's helped England to win the right to host the Olympics, the fact that he carried the torch from Greece back over to here, and he was involved in everything to do with it. David is a great role model, yes, but he shouldn't be picked for that. But still, at his age, I still believe he is the best purveyor of a dead ball in the game. From set pieces, from free kicks, from corners, all those areas of the game, crossing balls into the box, I think he's still one of the best in the game at doing that. And the fact of coming into a side that have only got every player apart from 3 are under 23 years of age, for those players to play alongside Beckham, to learn, to be with him, I just think that having him there would have been a huge thing for the squad. And I would say I was hugely surprised that Stuart Pearce made the decision to leave him out. I think everything was pointing to him, this being his final swan song. What bigger place than the Olympics to do it? But he's now not been given the opportunity, and personally, I think it's very unfair. He's brought in Micah Richards as the other over 23 player. Micah Richards wasn't selected for England, and then he refused to go on a standby list because he wasn't selected. Okay, so who do you choose for your squad, Micah Richards or David Beckham? Looking at everything, I would have gone for Beckham most definitely.
And I think obviously I don't think it'll affect the attendance much more, but I mean, having Beckham in action would just be such a big draw card as well. Maybe if England had, and I mean, the whole thing about pressure to achieve something and win things and have something positive to write about. Had they done better at Euro, do you think they might have included him in the side then? If it was all positive about the England performance at Euro?
Well, no, because obviously this is not an England team; it's a Team GB team, so it's made up from all the UK. So no, I just think it was a decision that Stuart Pearce had to make, and personally, I think he's got this one wrong.
All right, just finally, predictions. We look ahead to Sunday again. Prediction in the final. What does Gary Mabbutt say?
Spain 2, Italy 1. In normal time, not on penalties.
Let's please hope it doesn't go to penalties. I think it's a horrible way to finish a tournament and have a champion crowned on penalties. So Gary Mabbutt says in 90 minutes, 2-1 to Spain over Italy. Gary, great chatting to you. Thank you very much for keeping us up to date on your thoughts and letting us know what you're thinking ahead of Euro. And we look forward to catching up with you again sometime in the future.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks so much. Bye,
Gary Mabbutt's joining us on Balls Visual Radio this afternoon.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.